Hey guys, my name is Ethan Rowe, and this is my first YouTube video. And I'm going to start doing like reviews and maybe a reaction every once in a while. I don't have the equipment to like do reactions with like the video on the screen while I'm reacting. So basically, my topics will be just reviews. And first, I'm going to give a shout out to my inspirations to start a YouTube channel. Anyone can do it. You just gotta have some self confidence, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. And first of all, I want to give a shout out to Drum Dubs, Lee McCoy. He is phenomenal at what he does. He works super hard doing his reviews and reactions, and I am a major Halloween fan as well. But um, 1 and 2 are probably my favorites. Uh, 2 is my favorite, definitely out of the whole sequel of the Halloween franchise. And the rest, 4 is good. Just don't like the mask. The mask throws me off a little bit. But 4 has a good storyline, in my opinion. And as a kid, it freaked me out. I mean, I was freaked out. That was actually the first Halloween movie that I watched as a kid, and my brother introduced me to like the first Halloween, the original John Carpenter 1978 Halloween, and I was scared shitless. I was, and it's but it scared me, and I don't know. I just grew a love for Halloween. I grew a love for the story. And as I grew older, the more I watched it, I realized how much the rest of the sequels suck, especially Resurrection. Because I was about like maybe I'm 22 now, and that came out in 2002, so I was probably like 7 or 8, something like that, probably 7. And when that came out, I watched it with my brother, and it scared the shit out of me. But I watched it maybe several weeks ago, and I just realized, oh my god, this sucks. Everything about it sucks, except the first 15 minutes in that sanitarium scene. But when Michael killed Laurie in Resurrection, I did not like how they executed that. That was ridiculous. And kiss on the mouth, no, I'm not down for that. But enough with that. And I want to give a shout out to Hannah Smith on Twitter. Girl, you rock at what you do, and she is going to be starting a YouTube channel as well. So be on the lookout for her. She is amazing. And I also want to give a shout out to We Watched a Movie. Mike and Jay, you guys are fantastic. I love you guys. You guys are also an inspiration to me of starting a YouTube channel as well. And I watched your commentaries and like your reviews, reactions. It's my favorite reaction that you all have done is to the Halloween trailer. Either that or Upgrade. That was fucking hilarious. I mean hilarious. And the passion that you guys have for the Halloween franchise, I love it. I love it. You guys were actually the first ones that I've watched out of like the Halloween community, and I started watching your videos maybe around June of last year, if that, yeah, June of last year, and I haven't stopped watching your videos ever since. You guys put out amazing content. Excuse me, and I love you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. You guys are gonna be big. I guarantee it. And next shout out, I want to give to Tyrone Magnus. I know he probably won't see this video or anything like that, but I was going through some rough times last year, and I discovered Tyrone Magnus, and his reactions are pretty hilarious too. like whenever he does like a try not to laugh challenge, or try not to laugh or grin. If it's a grin, he always fails. I guarantee it. I mean, I would fail too. I've tried it before. I've failed many times. But the try not to laughs, he's actually pretty good. And your reviews to movies and stuff like that, I love that you're into the superhero movies too. I'm a geek. I'm an inner geek as well. I was a jock in high school, but I was an inner geek. I hung out with the geeks. So, yay me. And I love your stuff. Keep doing what you're doing, Tyrone. And maybe if you see this video, we can have a chat or something like that. And next shout out I want to give to is Dave McCray. Dave, you are awesome. You are fantastic at what you do. I love how you go into really, really deep details about the Halloween franchise or any movie. Because I've learned a lot. I have learned a lot from you about lighting and just movie magic, if you will. I have learned a lot. And excuse me if I'm stuttering a little bit. I am a bit nervous. This is my first video, so just bear with me. But Dave, you are amazing. I love your fan film, Halloween, the night he came back. Amazing. It literally felt like the first movie. And you did a good job of lighting the mask. That mask is fantastic. I love it. And moving on, this will be my last shout out, is Geekdom 101. Geekdom, if you see this, you're awesome. I love you. And I'm big into Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, original Dragon Ball. In my opinion, I really did like Dragon Ball GT. I love Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta, and then Vegito. I mean, not Vegito, but Gogeta. Loved it. I absolutely love that. He could have swamped Omega Shenron anytime he wanted to, but he was just messing around. But I love what you do, Geekdom. Like explaining what a Super Saiyan is, or explaining descriptive details about the new episodes or whatnot. But you put out amazing content. I love your videos so much. All of you guys that I've mentioned have helped me get through some tough times, and I thank you for that. I mean, you guys are awesome. I've been homeless last year, and I'm actually still going through some rough times, but things are getting better. Things are getting really better. But my first video, I wanted to do a top 10 movies of all time for me. My top 10. And I'm going to start from the bottom. At number 10 is Armageddon. Armageddon, I grew up with that movie. I really love Bruce. I'm a Bruce Willis fan. And you guys might hate me a little bit, but I do like Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck and Bruce Willis worked good together in that movie. And it was I do like some Michael Bay films. And yeah, the special effects for that time was pretty great. It came out like, I think, in 1999, 98, maybe early 2000s. I'm really not for sure. I'll have to check up on that. But that's my number 10. And my number 9 is Dead Poet Society. Dead Poet Society has a special place in my heart because freshman year in high school, we watched that movie in English class, and I absolutely fell in love. And I do love Robin Williams, and Ethan Hawke is so young in that movie, I swear. It's like he's unrecognizable, I swear. And whenever it's like I saw him in Sinister, it's just like completely different. Of course, I mean, he still has the looks and everything, but I don't know, he just looks so... He was just so young in Dead Poet Society. He did a good job, though. He did a really good job. But Robin Williams in that movie was outstanding. I love it. But moving on is number 8, Avengers Infinity War. I went and saw that the Sunday that weekend it came out on that Sunday. And every seat was full. I went with my girlfriend at the time, and we almost had to sit in different seats because the theater was so packed. But we ended up, getting a seat together and whatnot. But that was an emotional roller coaster. I tell you what, I was never bored in Avengers Infinity War. That is the best MCU movie of all time. I'm just blown away. It beat Captain America's The Winter Soldier for me. I love that movie too. That if Avengers wasn't on my list, it would have been The Winter Soldier. So both movies are great, but I think Avengers Infinity War was just, they went ballsy. They took risk, and it paid off. It paid off good. And I cannot wait for the sequel next year in 2019. And I sat in the theater after it was over for at least 5 to 10 minutes. I was speechless. I did not move, talk, or blink. I was just sitting there processing my emotions. I may have shed a tear a little bit whenever Peter Parker faded away into the dust. But yep, that's my number 8. My number 7 is Friday Night Lights with Billy Bob Thornton, and I'm a football guy. I played football in high school, and to me, that is just the best football movie you could ever watch. It's almost a tie with Friday Night Lights and We Are Marshall. And that's very close because I really do like Matthew McConaughey. But Friday Night Lights is just phenomenal. It's based on a true story. Boobie Miles gets injured, and everyone was just crushed, and they had to really work as a team to get to state. And they worked really hard. I mean, it really did pay off for them. It was just a great movie. The way it was shot, the action, the way people were getting hit. I remember there was this one montage in the opening game where it was just like showing players like getting beat up and stuff like that. One player finger was like bent this way. He was just acting like, oh my God, what do I do? But yeah, Friday Night Lights is number 7 on my list. Moving on is number 6 is Patriots Day with Mark Wahlberg. I really love that movie. That movie is phenomenal. The way it's shot, the lighting in that movie, the action sequences whenever the bombs are going off. And it's based on the true story about the bombings of the Boston Marathon. And it is really so sad. That movie is just so sad because it really dives into the deep material of terrorists, really, that would just want to hurt us and kill us. And it showed everything. When the bombs went off and the people were like shredded up and blood everywhere, limbs everywhere, and how families were separated during that time, and the manhunt. They showed the manhunt sequence very well, and whenever they got to Watertown, that shootout, that was shot very well too. And there was a part in there, someone came out of the house, and he's like, "I got a sledgehammer, Sarge. Give him hell!" And he just threw it at him. The cop's like, "What the fuck?" But that movie is really great. Mark Wahlberg did a fantastic job as always. I love Mark Wahlberg. But yeah, and number 5, moving on to number 5 on my list is Would You Rather. Would You Rather is a great, I guess you could say horror. Maybe more of a thriller than horror, but it is done fantastic. The tension in the room, and it's like, would you rather whip this guy or electrocute yourself? You're faced with tough decisions, and eventually, I mean, you have to make the tough call. I mean, that movie made me so nervous. I swear, it was one of the most tense movies I've ever seen. But excuse me. Moving on to number four is The Conjuring. The Conjuring is by far, like in my older days, I'm 22 now. I saw The Conjuring about whenever it came out, 2015, I think. I saw that in theaters. My goodness, that was the scariest movie I have ever watched. It beat Halloween for me. But Halloween is a special one for me. That one did scare me as a kid, but The Conjuring, that supernatural element to it, and the way it's shot is so dark. I mean, it is real dark, and it tension as well. It builds tension, and in that scene where that woman has that lighter and she's stuck in like the basement or something like that, and the hands go and it just goes completely dark. That scared the absolute shit out of me. I swear, it was scary. The whole movie was scary, and I jumped. One time I jumped and screamed. Whenever I screamed, yeah, it was bad. I screamed like a little girl. I kid you not. But Conjuring, that's a special one in my heart too as well. I will watch that anytime, anywhere. And moving on, this is to number three. This is going to be an unpopular opinion, and I do not care, but this is just my opinion. Man of Steel, the new Superman, Henry Cavill. I think that's how you say his last name. But I think he did a spectacular job as playing Superman. The action sequences in that movie is just phenomenal. I know it's a little bit overboard with the destruction in the final act of Metropolis, but I think it paid off because it added so much more tension to the fight and to the civilians that are trying to survive from the World Destroyer, I think. I think that's what it's called. But Henry Cavill did a fantastic job. Amy Adams as Lois Lane. I really liked her as Lois Lane. She plays a really good Lois Lane, in my opinion. But, going into Batman v Superman, a lot of people hated it, but I liked it. I liked it better when the extended version came out. And it was supposed to be rated R or something like that, but I don't think it should be rated R because, I mean, it shows a little bit more blood and whenever people are getting killed, but it's not very descriptive. Like, it's not very, it don't show a lot. It don't show a whole lot. So it should be still PG-13, but the extended version of Batman vs. Superman is the better version. I would recommend it. But Man of Steel, I saw that one in theaters at least 5 times. I saw that in my junior year of high school, and I really loved it. That one's a special one for me. And a lot of people are like, "Why do you like that movie? That movie sucks." And I'm just like, I mean, I love it. It's just my opinion. I love the action in it, and I think Henry Cavill played a good Clark Kent and Superman. But anyways, moving on is number 2, Halloween. John Carpenter's 1978 version. That is my favorite all-time horror movie, and Michael Myers is, to me, the most iconic movie character of all time, hands down. And the way John Carpenter did Halloween with the low budget of $300,000, I don't know. There's just something about it. It's just movie magic, movie genius. He is a genius when it comes to making movies, and it's just simple. I mean, he does it very simple. I know he said in an interview one time, when you make a horror movie, you want it to scare you, you want it to scare you, and you want it to scare you. I mean, he keeps it simple. I mean, Halloween. I don't know. It's just there's no words to describe that movie for me because I love it so much. I love it, and and I will be doing more Halloween content. This will be pretty much a Halloween page. I'll try to keep updates and whatnot of the new movie coming out, and I will talk about the trailer that was released last month in June. But moving on is my number one favorite movie of all time is Interstellar. I am a space nerd. I love space, astronomy, and just science fiction. I love it. And Interstellar, I saw that movie in theaters. Really didn't have any idea of what was going to happen in the movie. I only saw the trailer once. I was interested, and me and my dad, he said he wanted to watch it, so I was like, "Hey, let's go watch it." And it turned out to be my favorite movie of all time. To this day, no, nothing has beat it. I mean, there's good movies out there, but nothing has beat Interstellar for me. And the special effects in it. I mean, Christopher Nolan did a spectacular job in Interstellar. I mean, he always does fantastic jobs. I mean, look at the Dark Knight trilogy and Dunkirk. Dunkirk, that was a really good movie as well. Christopher Nolan has a specific style that he wants and he goes for. And the score in Interstellar, I forgot to talk about the score of Halloween as well. But the score of Interstellar, it makes everything so tense. I mean, you're always on the edge of your seat at all times. And it's just like the crazy adventure whenever they're on the Miller's planet, I think, full of water. And 1 hour there equals like about 7 days on Earth because of the time-space continuum. And it's wild. I mean, it's wild to think about. And that's actually what I'm going to try to do whenever I go back to college. I want to study astronomy. That's just me. I love space, stars, whatever. But yeah, Interstellar is my number one movie of all time. And I do have to mention an honorable mention, and that will be the first Hunger Games. I really like the Hunger Games trilogy. Well, not really a trilogy. I mean, they split the last movie into two parts, but I think I'll call it a trilogy in my opinion because it's just the same story continued in Mockingjay Part 1 and 2. So I'd just rather combine them together as one big movie. So, I mean, I'll call it a trilogy. But the first Hunger Games was really, really well done. I think, I mean, Jennifer Lawrence does a fantastic job, in my opinion. And the way it's shot, I don't know. I like shaky cam a little bit, and there's a lot of shaky cam. And shaky cams add tension and maybe a little bit of sense of fear going on. It makes you afraid of what's going to happen next. And the score, whenever they were counting down, that was fantastic. I loved it. And but yeah, Hunger Games, the first one is by far the better one of the trilogy. I really like Catching Fire. Catching Fire was pretty awesome whenever she shot that bow and arrow up into the, I guess you could say, ceiling and broke the arena. And it caused like a massive outbreak of war or whatnot. But the first one I'll hold a special place in my heart because I watched that with my sister. My sister, God bless her soul, she is the sweetest thing of all time. I mean, she is lovely. But yeah, this is my first video of all time. I wanted to do a top 10 movies of all time, in my opinion. And I wanted to give those shout outs to those people I mentioned. And if you guys are watching this, you guys are awesome. Help support my page. And anyone else, if you see this video, click the like button and make sure to subscribe. I want to build this channel. I want to get into YouTube. I want to provide good content, and that's what I'm going to try to do. So, uh, you you guys are awesome. Help support the page. You guys have a great day. Ethan Rowe is out.